Good morning, everyone.
Recording in
We're
progress.
ready to start our meeting. So I want to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Retirement, Los Angeles County Employee Retirement Association, this Wednesday, April 1st. So who are the fools? It's April Fool's Day, right? Okay, let's start by the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Robbins, you want to lead?
Please join me on the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm just going to check on the public.
Okay, so we have some procedural things to take care of because of teleconference meeting attendance.
Yes, so thank you, Mr. Moore. This meeting is being conducted as a virtual and in-person meeting. So we'll do a roll call to confirm attendance. Ms. Proft,
Here.
Mr. Razo,
Present.
Ms. Langton,
Present.
Ms. Fessler,
Here.
okay, Mr. Kehoe,
Present.
Mr. Moore,
Here.
Mr. Rue, Mr. Pantoja,
Here.
Mr. Robbins,
Here.
Mr. Green.
Here.
Okay, Ms. Fessler is participating under teleconference policy SB 707 due to a physical condition. Ms. Fessler, can you please confirm if there are any individuals 18 years or older present at your location?
No, there aren't.
Okay, and then trustee Green will be participating under teleconference policy SB 707 due to childcare. Mr. Green, can you please confirm if there are any individuals 18 years or older present at your location?
Nope, just two sleeping babies.
Okay, thank you. And you may proceed with the agenda.
All right, the next item is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 4th, 2026.
We need a motion. Mr. Pantoja. Okay, Ms. Proft.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Razo.
Aye.
Ms. Langton. Ms. Fessler.
Abstain.
Okay, Mr. Kehoe.
Aye.
Mr. Moore.
Aye.
Mr. Rue. Mr. Pantoja. And Mr. Robbins.
All abstain.
Okay, the motion passes with 2 abstentions.
All righty, then we have public comment today.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Mr. Acosta, you can make the podium and you will have 3 minutes to address the board.
Hello?
3 minutes.
Okay. Good morning. I'm here today to speak on behalf of my wife, Olga Acosta, and what our family has experienced. Olga dedicated 27 years of her life to serving her community as a deputy sheriff. She was selfless, compassionate, and always willing to help others without hesitation. That was who she was, not only in her profession, but as a person, a friend, a mother, a sister, a daughter, and my wife. When it came time for the Los Angeles County to step in and provide support, we trusted the process. However, that process took 9 months. During that time, 2 Los Angeles County doctor's appointments were canceled due to the doctor being ill, causing further delays in her care. Her final appointment was scheduled for July 25th, but by then, she already passed away. While we waited, Olga's condition continued to worsen. By the time the claim was finally approved, it was too late. The lack of care raises serious concerns about how the Los Angeles County supports the very employees who dedicate so much of their lives to serving others. Our family is left wondering if the claim had been approved sooner, if care had been provided in a timely manner, would it have made a difference? 9 months is too long, especially for someone who gave so much of herself to others. No family should have to wait that long while their loved one slowly loses a part of themselves every day. What matters now is that change comes from this. These delays, bureaucratic barriers are not just administration issues. They have real consequences. They affect real people and real families. We lost a friend, a daughter, a sister, a tia, a mother, a wife, our support system. I ask that you take this into consideration and work toward improving this process so that no other family has to endure what we have. No other family should have to stand here where I'm at right now today. Thank you for your time and attention.
I think I can probably speak for everybody up here, but you certainly have our condolences.
So we have to move on to item number 6, the executive update.
Good morning, trustees. Each month, we take a moment to recognize the LACERA staff who've been nominated by their fellow staff members for going above and beyond the call of duty to help members and each other. So this month, we recognize the staff members you see on your screen: Clara Lanting, Nak Vu, Vanessa Gonzalez, and William Chung. Our rideshare recognition goes to Liping Lee, and our web watchers are Moises Mariquin and Diana Luan. And we thank you for everything that you do. With your permission, I'll move to the member spotlight. A moment. So member spotlight is a way for LACERA to recognize the public servants that care for the constituents of Los Angeles County. It's also an opportunity for all of us to reflect on why we do what we do as we serve our members and empower them to enjoy a healthy and secure retirement. And so this month, we recognize Pamela Broom, the head custody records clerk of Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, who's retired after 39 years of service. Ms. Broom dedicated herself to LA County. In her role, she was responsible for conducting meetings, processing timesheets, and facilitating staff complaints and approving paid time offs. She's a member of several volunteer organizations, United Peace Officers Against Crime, in which she's been a member since '89, and they take care of they host summer camps and other community events for at-risk children. In her retirement, she looks forward to being a teen grandma. She also plans to buy Dodgers season tickets. Go Dodgers. And she plans to start a nonprofit to continue her public service. And so, Ms. Broom, we thank you for your service to LA County. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, JJ. And again, good morning, trustees. Good morning, Chair Moore. Before I start my updates, again, I want to also extend my condolences, and I appreciate Mr. Acosta coming to the board, and that's certainly a commitment that we'll have in terms of our disability process. So thank you for sharing those thoughts. A few items of note on the CEO report. If we could go to slide 3, please. We have our offsite, our Board of Retirement offsite coming up May 18th and May 19th. Appreciate all the trustees that completed the survey. The agenda really flows from the survey and the feedback that we've all received. And the theme is bringing the future into focus. Few items of note, some agenda items that we'll have on the docket for those 2 days. We'll have governance and fiduciary stewardship as a agenda item. We'll have the retiree healthcare landscape, emerging topics around artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, among other topics. So really looking forward to the offsite coming in the next, believe it or not, month and a half. Also, we're continuing our annual stakeholder engagement meetings. Myself and John Grable, Chief Investment Officer, are continuing to meet with Board of Supervisors as well as our various stakeholders. Our annual meetings just to kind of get a pulse and touch point on the health of the fund, but also get perspectives from them in terms of our overall engagement at LACERA. And then lastly, we provided an update operationally. We just finished March Madness. I know we gave a brief update last month. We're continuing to trickle in the retirement enrollments, but I'll have JJ go over so far the numbers through March 23rd, and we'll provide a final number in the coming months. So JJ?
So let's go to slide 15, I think would be the slide to go to for the CEO's report. So this is a snapshot of retirements. As you can see, for March alone, we have about 693 retirements. I believe there's 122 retirements that are still in process as of yesterday. The season has not been as robust as it was last year, but we are moving forward to get everybody on payroll in time for the April payroll. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
One thing I do want to highlight with the snapshot, there is after March and throughout the calendar year, we do have individuals that have a March election as part of their disability filing. So it goes retroactive. So you'll see those numbers vary from month to month as we start adding those retroactive elections in March. So that's why you may see a slight variance in a snapshot between those particular months. So trustee or Chair Moore will stand for any questions.
Any questions on the board? No. All right, then thank you for that.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the disability retirement application on the consent calendar. And I would accept a motion for applications number 869E through 897E on pages 1, 2, and 3.
So moved.
Okay, Ms. Croft,
Aye.
Mr. Raza,
Aye.
Ms. Langton,
Aye.
Ms. Fessler,
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe, Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Pantoja,
Aye.
and Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
Okay, next items 1066C through 1086C on pages 4 and 5.
So moved. I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Croft,
Aye.
Mr. Raza, Ms. Langton, Ms. Fessler,
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Pantoja,
Aye.
and Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
All righty, next items 2111D through 2127D on pages 7 and 8.
Move them.
Okay, Ms. Croft,
Aye.
Mr. Raza,
Aye.
Ms. Langton,
Aye.
Ms. Fessler.
Sorry. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Kehoe.
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Pantoja,
Aye.
and Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
All right, that concludes the disability retirement applications on the consent calendar. Now the regular consent calendar, is there any need to discuss either of these items?
I'll move A and B.
Been
I'll
moved,
second.
moved and second.
Okay, Ms. Croft,
Aye.
Mr. Raza,
Aye.
Ms. Langton,
Aye.
Ms. Fessler,
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Pantoja, Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
Okay, now on the non-consent calendar, item A, recommendation for approval of Klosner, Kaufman, Jensen, and Levinson, Newsbaum LLP, and Reed Smith LLP as fiduciary counsel. Is there a presentation on that? You got some introduction, any information?
Sure, I don't have a presentation prepared, but I'm here to present the recommendation from the ad hoc committee on the fiduciary council.
Mhm.
As the memo shows, we met I think 4 times, discussed the candidates, reviewed the candidates, and the recommendation is based on the memos, but I'll take any questions if there are any.
Bobby,
Oh. Where is that?
she's right here. So just,
Oh, I see your
Yeah.
hand up. Okay, Ms. Fessler.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. I appreciate the work that the committee did because I know there's a lot that goes into this kind of a review. I just want to throw out a thought for future. In my view, we use fiduciary counsel more than I would expect an organization like LACERA to need to use them with the size of our in-house staff. So I'd urge the chief counsel's office to take a look at what can be done in-house versus what we're using with our outside counsel. They do a lot for us that is well beyond what seems to me the scope of fiduciary counsel responsibilities. We're using them as general outside counsel extensively, and they're very expensive. Their hourly rates are much higher, excuse me, than it would cost us to use our own in-house counsel. So I urge the review, if it hasn't been done already, and the periodic evaluation of what should be kept in-house versus what is sent to outside counsel, and that as a policy, we consider using outside counsel only when they have an expertise that we don't have in-house, or when there is some other substantive or subject matter need for outside counsel, fiduciary counsel use, and that short of that, we start relying more and more on our own self-employed attorneys. And if that means we need to expand the size of the chief counsel's office, that would be something that I would support, because I think the money is better used by growing and expanding the scope and expertise of my own in-house or our own in-house counsel. So that's it. I fully support the recommendation, but I do think that we overuse outside counsel, and it's an easy thing to slip into, and it requires some conscious effort to move out of it. But I think LACERA deserves that conscious effort by our chief counsel's office. Thanks.
Mr. Lugo, you have any response to that, or Steve?
Through the chair, I appreciate Trustee Fessler's comments. I think that's something Steve Rice and his team, may have a deliberate effort of trying to keep as much in-house. And I know that's something that Steve and I have talked about in terms of the expanded role within our in-house attorneys. I will say on the business side, we do ask for sometimes independent counsel as well. So it's not just within the chief counsel's purview. I know the business side asks for independent review on certain items, but that's something I appreciate Trustee Fessler's comments, and that's something that we'll take back to build our own kind of internal strength, as it relates to some of the issues that we bring to the outside attorneys.
All right, thank you for that. Any other questions? Comment?
Yeah, I'd like to join Ms. Fessler. I know you already said you're going to take it back. I was part of the decision-making process for the fiduciary council, and they are excellent. There's no question about that. But as counsel for a government agency, I feel exactly the same way as Trustee Fessler does. So I would just join. Thank you.
Can I provide?
Sure.
I hate to be contrarian, but I just want to give support to Chief Counsel on their decision making. And I know that you don't do it willy-nilly, like you make a deliberate effort on it. And it's always good sometimes to have an opinion that's influenced outside, that's not influenced from within the organization. So I do appreciate reading fiduciary counsel's review on stuff. I think that it highlights a good point, though. Let's make sure that we're using it wisely and for things that really do matter.
Okay, I have a couple of comments I wanted to make regarding the report, the letter from March 11th. I believe on page, the second page under the background discussion, background, the second paragraph, seems like there's a typo there. It says with the term of the panel approved by the boards. I think that's past tense and it should probably be approved.
I will
That's
make
one.
that correction. Thank you.
And then on the conclusion on page 13, 13 of 13, Reed Smith is not listed in your conclusion as one of the recommended service providers. I think there's a typo there. See Olson Remcho.
Oh, you're right. Excuse me. So
So we should
Olson
correct.
Remco should be struck from that paragraph and Reed Smith should be put in its
Okay,
place.
so-
And I'll make sure that that change is made for the record.
Okay,
I'll move the recommendation.
I'll second.
Ms. Croft,
Aye.
Mr. Raza,
Aye.
Ms. Langton,
Aye.
Ms. Fessler,
Yes,
Mr. Kehoe,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
aye,
Mr. Pantoja,
Aye.
and Mr. Robbins. Okay, passes unanimously.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, non-consent item B, approval of LACERA and SEIU MOU.
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Croft,
Aye.
Mr. Raza,
Aye.
Ms. Langton,
Aye.
Ms. Fessler,
yes,
Mr. Kehoe,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye,
Mr. Pantoja, and Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone who participated in this negotiation. I think you did a great job. I appreciate our lead negotiator and all of staff that were involved. So thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Oh, one more, where?
The C.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
twins.
you have the next one also. Okay. Okay, item C, non-representative management staff salary adjustments.
I'll move it for
Second.
losses.
It's been moved in second. Any comments on that?
Ms. Croft,
Aye.
Mr. Raza,
Aye.
Ms. Langton,
Aye.
Ms. Fessler,
yes,
Mr. Kehoe,
Aye.
Mr. Moore,
Aye.
Mr. Pantoja,
Aye.
and Mr. Robbins.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
All right. Item D, processing and output services contract renewal. Okay. The floor is yours.
Thank you. This item is brought before the board. It concerns the processing and output services contract with CSG Systems Incorporated, which supports essential retiree payroll and statutory member communications. Historically, these services were administered under two separate legacy contracts, one by the Systems Division and one by the Communications Division. As these agreements approached expiration in 2025, staff took interim steps to ensure service continuity while evaluating long-term contracting options. Under LACERA's evolving governance model, vendor management has assumed a central coordinating role to ensure mission-critical contracts are managed consistently, proactively, and in alignment with enterprise risk standards. The consolidation of the CSG agreements into a single contract reflects this shift toward a more integrated and risk-aware procurement approach. Throughout 2025, vendor management partnered with systems, communications, and the legal office to consolidate contract scope and administration under a unified structure, strengthen legal risk and performance protections, align contract duration, pricing, and exclusivity terms with enterprise standards, ensure continuity of critical services while long-term contracting options were evaluated. This coordinated approach is designed to reduce fragmentation, improve accountability, and ensure that LACERA's contractual relationships reflect current governance expectations. The CSG contract review highlighted opportunities to further strengthen LACERA's controls around the contract lifecycle management, particularly the risk of retroactive or last-minute contract actions for mission-critical services. And as part of the centralized vendor management framework, staff is implementing the following corrective actions. Number one, to prevent contract negotiations from extending beyond planned timelines, we are going to define escalation thresholds for delayed negotiations, especially for high impact or operationally essential services. Vendor management will establish these formal escalation thresholds and incorporate them in our procedures. Number two, when negotiations are not progressing as expected, the matter will be elevated to the Information Security Committee for visibility and governance. This ensures intervention, clear accountability, and timely decision-making. We will also implement use of time-limited interim agreements. And when long-term negotiations require additional time, vendor management will utilize time-limited interim agreements or purchase orders to maintain continuity of service without allowing contracts to lapse. These interim instruments will be structured with defined durations and controls, and this approach will preserve operational stability while avoiding retroactive contract execution. The CSG contract consolidation represents a significant step in modernizing LACERA's vendor governance practices. The corrective actions outlined above further strengthen LACERA's ability to manage mission-critical contracts proactively, reduce operational and legal risk, and ensure alignment with the board's expectations for transparency, accountability, and sound risk management. Staff now brings this item forward for board consideration and action and is available to answer any questions. I would like to read the recommendation into the record, mainly because we have one minor adjustment to language. It is recommended that the Board of Retirement authorize LACERA to enter into a processing and output services agreement with CSG Systems Incorporated to continue critical print, mailing, and distribution services for retiree payroll warrants, statements, and annual benefit communications. This contract consolidates two legacy CSG agreements into a single agreement and now exceeds the approval authority of the Chief Executive Officer, requiring board approval. The total contract value is $600,000 over 2 years.
Any questions, comments? Well, who was
Ms.
first?
Langton was first.
Okay. Ms. Langton.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Keo.
I just, you highlighted the concern, but I want to reiterate, retroactive contracts are not good, so we need to be on top of this. And then, but my question is, the initial term is listed as 2 years with an automatic 1-year renewal unless notice is provided. Are we saying that it's a 2-year contract will live forever, year after year, unless one party gives notice that they're wanting to make a change?
No, my understanding is it's a 2-year contract with a possible 1-year extension. Is my
Okay, so that's
understanding.
different. So 2-year with automatic 1-year renewals implies that it's multiple years.
Multiple, okay.
So if it's 2 years with 1 year, so why such a short period? Was that negotiated with?
It is our intention, and JJ can jump in, but it is our intention to go to market,
Okay,
really.
okay,
The
that's
RFP
all. Okay.
process is just lengthy.
That was gonna be my third question, because I was gonna say that this doesn't seem to be such a highly specialized thing that it should warrant such a long negotiation period and all this stuff. So if that's the plan, I'm in support, so that's it.
Thanks. Okay, Ms. Durazo.
So yes, my question as well was about the short term, the 2 year. So you answered that question. And so you also clarified that's because you're considering going into market. So I guess we'll find out if there's been issues with this specific company, KSG, and maybe some issues or problems that we've had in the past with them and how long we've been in contract with them in the past. So I guess those will be answered in the future when you go into market and look for other options.
Yes, we'll be very clear about what we're expecting in terms of the scope of work, which will define what our needs are at that time.
Okay, all right, thank you.
If no other questions, then let's call the roll.
We need a motion. Okay. Ms. Proft?
Aye.
Mr. Razzo?
Aye.
Ms. Langton?
Aye.
Ms. Fessler?
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Pantoja? And Mr. Robbins?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Okay, non-consent item E, ratification of reciprocal disability retirements.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any questions, Mr. Razzo? You don't have a question? No?
Okay, Ms. Proft?
Aye.
Mr. Razzo?
Aye.
Ms. Langton?
Aye.
Ms. Fessler?
Yes.
Mr. Kehoe?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mr. Pantoja?
Aye.
And Mr. Robbins? Okay, passes unanimously.
Okay, now reports. There's a presentation first on the culture of excellence and engagement. Mr. Lugo.
Yes, good morning again, Chair Moore, trustees. I'll await the presentation to be pulled up. Again, thank you, Norma, for driving the slides. So culture gets talked about a lot, but at its core, in my opinion, it's pretty simple. You know, over the last 35 days, I've met with all of the divisions, staff, and one of the things that's been clearly communicated is, and especially in alignment when we talk about culture, it isn't what we say, it's what people experience every day. So everyone has a collective responsibility, and oftentimes we use this comment of tone at the top, but I think culture is really everyone's collective responsibility, from those sitting on a dais, to myself, to the leadership team behind me, and then the collective staff at LACERA. From a leadership standpoint, what we model is what's multiplied by team members. So our responsibility is to ensure that we're consistent, aligned, and worthy of the trust that the team places in us. So I'll do a walkthrough on where we are. I know we had our engagement survey in July, but I'll do a walkthrough of our efforts, not only July, but also provide some context on what we did prior to that collectively as an organization, and then discuss how we can continue to set the foundation for long-term organizational excellence. Certainly a lot of areas for us to improve on. Next slide, please. Just a quick walkthrough of what I'll touch base on again. How we got here, our timeline, ground the importance on why engagement and culture is important, share what we've heard from the team, from survey and focus groups, and also show what we're doing, what current initiatives are underway, and how we sustain accountability and a pathway forward. Next slide, please. So this is just a high-level timeline. We began discussions around, and one of the things I want to make sure that is communicated, and we've been intentional organizationally to communicate, is what do we anchor ourselves on? And that's our values. There was a deliberative process in 2022, 2023, when we went through our Board of Retirement strategic planning process to really reevaluate our values and also our mission. And part of that process is we came up with new values, and we'll touch on those briefly, but that was a collaborative effort between the board, staff, from all levels of the organization in terms of building those and establishing those values. Then we also went through the process of establishing our ethics and compliance office, which additional conversation around culture and ethics partook, and the efforts of Steve, Allison, several people throughout the organization in building that program that's through the accountability of the ACRE committee. We then, through the ethics and compliance, one of the initiatives through our strategic pillar, one of our strategic pillars was building an ethics and compliance program, and a sub task of that was our ethics or our culture survey that we launched in July of 2025, followed up with results in October of 2025, shared that with staff, and then also had a focus group in November, and then talked about our process as a collective leadership team in December. And I walked through this timeline. Last time we did an engagement survey was 2021, and organizationally, we failed in terms of making sure we had any momentum on that 2021 survey. So we've been really deliberate to make sure that the comments, the suggestions, and the efforts are communicated consistently throughout the organization on what we've heard and what we're doing. And now we're at the path of things that are currently underway, and then our accountability loop in January when we're going to relaunch our engagement survey once again, which would be about an 18-month cycle. Next slide, please. And we talk about, again, culture, directly drives performance. These are just some key metrics through Gallup and some other leading survey organizers. And one of the things that stands out is this concept of leadership behavior being the biggest driver of team experience. As I talked about, again, it's not what you say, it's what our team experience is. And in this particular slide, 70% of managers or managers variance in a team level engagement. So team engagement can vary based on management influence and input. So that, I think that's a significant data point to reference in terms of, the concept of individuals don't leave organizations, they leave bosses. So that's something that we're keen on and working towards as it relates to leadership expectations. Next slide, please. And as I talked about, aligning our culture with our values and making sure they're anchored there. And we talk about our I ACT values, very possessive, introspective in terms of the 6 values that we've identified collectively over the last 2 years. And we've been intentional about highlighting those values: integrity, innovation, inclusivity, collaboration, accountability, and transparency. You see that in the Code of Ethical Conduct. We had that as a backdrop to our survey, and it's something that we really embed throughout our conversations organizationally. Next slide, please. And our survey. So you have a couple of documents within your packet. You have the presentation that was provided to the ACRE committee in November, I believe, with Christina and Armand did a nice job walking through the survey results. So that's at your disposal. And also there's a presentation from January or February of 2025 talking about culture and ethics. So that provides some context in terms of our conversations organizationally. With some key insights in terms of the survey that we launched in July, 67% of individuals participated. From my lens, that means a quarter of the organization did not participate. So obviously room for improvement there as we look at our next engagement survey.
Louis, does that include people that are injured or off sick, those kind of things?
Yeah, that's a good point, Trustee Kehoe. We don't have a significant amount, so that wouldn't move the needle significantly. But I'm
used to having a significant amount.
Yeah, that makes sense. But no, I think it's. I'm sure we've had individuals on leave, but I would say it's a handful throughout the organization. Again, the structure of the survey was anonymous. Unfiltered feedback. There was an opportunity for team members to provide actual feedback outside of the question and answer portion. Covers the full organization and key dimensions. And again, focus not just on scores, but for us, it was interpretation and action. What's working, what we can improve on. And then gives you a little bit of how we assessed the data points in terms of the way the team members answered. And again, the presentation that was provided to the ACRE committee provides a good synopsis and walkthrough. And I encourage, if you haven't seen it, it is on YouTube, and it provides, again, some really good insights for anyone that's interested in looking through that walkthrough. Next slide, please. So some of the key themes identified, not only from the survey, but also the focus group, and then I'll touch on these individually. Accountability gap, inconsistent expectations and follow through throughout the organization, depending on what business unit or what division you sat in. Leadership behavior gaps, disconnect between values and lived experience. Workforce planning and performance management, kind of a reactive versus a strategic approach. And again, these are all insights that come directly from, if not the survey, the focus groups that were conducted by, I think 75 individuals participated throughout the organization on those focus groups. And then lastly, again, on a lack of inclusivity and communication, and then also follow through and trust. And so all of those, we took that insight and really focused on incremental improvement. If we go to the next slide, please. And took them in really 3 approaches and 3 phases and 3 focused areas to be really intentional, knowing that we're not going to solve everything in one day. It's really incremental to build that that trust factor and that accountability loop, excuse me. So our focus effort is on 3 respective areas: accountability and leadership behaviors, trust and ethical environment, which is again, workforce planning and performance management, excuse me, and then inclusivity and follow through. Again, the key here is driving sustainable performance as opposed to temporary change. Next slide, please. And our current initiatives underway, on December 18th, outside of just the normal expectations we have with our leadership team, leaders are expected to follow 5 distinct expectations that are really foundational and grounded on the insights we received directly from staff. And those are highlighted there. We've also worked on our non-retaliation and code of ethical conduct policies that are soon to be finalized. And education and training continues to be a focus effort, both on the manager and the supervisor level. Workforce planning and performance management. We'll talk briefly on the leadership development programs, but that's one of the things that was highlighted is just career path and pathway forward. So we'll touch on that briefly. And then also inclusivity and follow through, making sure that we have clear lines of communication throughout the organization. So some of the efforts that we have here, but making sure that we set that expectation. Thank you. A little bit of dry mouth there, sorry. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
So one of the things we heard loud and clear is the making sure that we have good communication across all levels. So direct access to not only to myself, John Grable does a really good job of having coffee meeting chats, making sure there's expectations at every division, having meetings, also at the business unit level. We also have a suggestion box to make sure that there's clear lines of feedback channels for all of our staff. And again, ensuring that there's a follow through, a transparent follow through on those ideas and suggestions. And lastly, ECT is a huge part of LACERA. It's the employee council team, separate from any leadership. It's really ran by the team, the staff, and they do a really good job of having collaborative efforts throughout the organization. So really partnering with them and other committees, such as our IDEA committee, that we're looking at really bolstering throughout the organization in terms of creating an inclusive work environment. Next slide, please. These next couple of slides really touch on the conversations that we're having with our human resource team and our organizational development team, specifically on leadership development programs. Prior to COVID, LACERA did have a career development program, a couple of career development programs. And then once we had COVID, we put a pause and we haven't brought those back. Heard loud and clear from the staff that those were really something that was a critical need organizationally from a growth development perspective, but obviously for us from a succession planning perspective, we wanted to make sure that we bring those programs back, but really be intentional on how we bring them back and ensure that it covers all levels of the organization. So at a high level, this provides some context on both the individual, contributor track, the supervisory track, and the managerial track. And then we also have, if we go to the next slide, please. We also have kind of a experiential growth track where we have job shadowing and obviously temporary detail opportunities. So those are 5 tracks that we want to really hone in on this calendar year with our HR team to really launch and make sure that we have that as a part of our growth and development for our team members and our staff. Next slide, please. And then again, consistency, follow through, continuous improvement. And again, for us, it's the accountability, responsibility on our end, making sure that we're following through with our leadership expectations, with our leadership development program, with our communication, and making sure that, again, we have that final loop around our engagement survey, which we're committed to at least every 18 months. We will have an opportunity for staff and the board to hear from staff directly on how we're doing organizationally in those areas that we talked about in terms of our overall values as an organization. Next slide, please. And again, talks about our reassessment and the areas of where we're going to reassess. And again, it's intentional, it's incremental, and we'll continue to build upon that as we launch and focus in on these particular efforts. So again, listen, analyze, act, and measure. And with that, last slide, please. I'll take any questions.
I have some comments.
Mr. Keough?
Thank you. So I really appreciate the presentation and the survey and the candidness and openness. So I think the organization should see that when leaders, you don't have fear of bringing stuff to this board, including stuff that other people might look at and go, well, that's bad news, right? But you brought it to us, and I appreciate it because that actually shows that these are things we're going to look at, we're going to work on improving and moving forward. So I really appreciate that. I love the 360-degree feedback approach. I think that's very important. From somebody who does and signs off on thousands of employee evaluations, it's much better when you're actually getting feedback not only from your peers, but the people who supervise you and the people you supervise. So that's great. I hope you do develop that, and I hope it's real and provides good feedback for leadership. I was going to mention all the focus on leadership growth is huge, and you should keep it going. That's how we build a great organization, and we make it even better, is by investing in the people that work for us that are moving up the ranks, supervisors, managers, and get all of that growth. That's also how we keep and retain some of the best people. So keep that going. Look at how you can expand that, and then at your higher levels, your executive levels, have mentorship and coaching that of people that can come in and give that feedback to them, so that the organization could continue to grow. And last, I love the suggestion box that you have. I actually have a suggestion for your suggestion box. I would say, if I were going to build an organization, I would make it so that if a suggestion is going to be approved by whoever's reading that suggestion, it's signed off and it's done. But if it's denied, it goes to the next level. And that goes all the way to you. So that if it does not get approved, if that suggestion that an employee is bringing to the organization, which might not be something that we could do. I've had many suggestions that there's nothing we could do about. All of those should be filtered up to you, and only you shouldn't see the ones that get approved and get deployed. So that would make it, you might get a lot of suggestions to read, but that's a good thing because you look at it and you say, okay, I agree with the last 5 lines that looked at this and said no, because we just can't do it. Or you look at it and you go, they might be saying no because they don't think that they have the authority or the power to do it. So that's my suggestion to you. I appreciate this. This is great, and let's keep it going.
I join Mr. Kehoe. I think those were excellent suggestions. I too want to thank management for conducting the survey. From an employee perspective, these surveys can go one of 2 ways. They can either have good intention, but just don't pan out at the end because it is a heck of a lot of work, or it can make meaningful change. And I'm confident that LACERA, with Louis leading this team, will have meaningful change, and we'd like to be part of it, and we want to ensure that that happens. I will say that from an employee perspective, there's nothing more upsetting than taking the time to do the survey, getting all these results, spending all this money only for things to change a little bit, but not enough. So I really encourage pushing of boundaries to the extent that you're comfortable, of course, so that the employees feel the change. Just because upper management feels the change or thinks they're making change doesn't mean the employees feel the change. So again, that's from my perspective as an employee. I'm not a manager, so I couldn't tell you what to do at your end. I could just tell you what I see at my end. To the 33% that didn't respond to the survey, assuming they're listening, this is your voice for change. And if you don't take part in these, you don't then get to complain that what you were not happy about is still the same. And change doesn't happen from the sidelines. I would just encourage, since it's going to be coming back, I would encourage everyone to participate wholeheartedly, because I'm assuming that the 33% that didn't participate aren't the people that are saying, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Everything is great. So if you have issues, please speak up, help us help you. Yeah, thank you. And I know that Lewis is very human-centered and looks at the agency from a holistic view. And if there's anyone that can make a difference, I think Lewis believes in this organization, and I see his eyes light up when he comes up with ideas. And I think you will do a great job, Lewis, with this. So thank you.
Mr. Green.
Thank you. Is my audio good? Can you guys hear me?
I hear you.
Excellent. Hey, I echo everything. Really, it's really good. I'm glad to see things picking up and action being taken. On slide 11, the cross training and the onboarding, I'm glad to see that come back. I think slowly we've had the interns come in, and we've actually onboarded some of them, but in the legal and IT and all those places, and it's really a good program to do that. And I encourage more outreach on that stuff. Harvesting talent, rather than having to go headhunting or whatever. But Mr. Keogh's comments on the 365-degree approach to things, I as someone that does performance evaluations and stuff like that, feedback from the employees matters. And I think that I just want to say it out loud that leadership needs to be open to these ideas and criticisms to improve, because as they say, you learn from good leadership, and you also learn from bad leadership. You take away from both. So I think that's really important. The one concern I have is on slide 11 on the onboarding. I just the third bullet point, the filling operational gaps. I just want to make sure that all things are in place for additional responsibility bonuses and out of class bonuses in the event that we have the temporary details going on. Is that correct?
Correct. We even have that now where individuals fill in temporary roles and receive a ARB or
out of class. But my only concern is the filling operational gaps during vacancies and transitions. I don't want details to replace filling vacancies. I know it's good cross training. I support all of it, but I hope that we're still striving to decrease that vacancy count for our succession planning.
Yeah, and absolutely, the intent is always to fill our vacancies permanently. This is more, of a stopgap.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not saying that would happen, but sometimes it could happen. So And then the last point to Trustee Langton's, the follow-up survey, I know in 27, and I really want to highlight that continuous improvement. I look forward to, the cycle repeating, as you say. I think that's so, this should be a frequent and reoccurring thing. I really think this is well done, Mr. Lugo. So I just wanted to add that to it. So thank you.
Through the chair, appreciate the feedback, and I'll be remiss to say we have a significant amount of dedicated employees, those that are really driving culture, and it's certainly not only me, it's the individuals behind me, staff, and then part of the conversation, as I stated, it's not a top down or tone at the top. I think it's collectively board, staff, leadership as a whole, making sure that we're anchoring down on our values. But in my communication with our team members, I also say it's a two-way streak. So be accountable and responsible for the work that you're assigned to, be a good team member, and be actively engaged. And I think you would get just as much as you want out of the organization as well. So.
Any other questions or comments? Well, I would just say that this is a team from the top to the bottom. And the teams that are successful, like that win the Super Bowls and the NFL championships, it's not just the players, it's the managers, it's the other coaches, it's the management, the owners, the GMs. Everybody has to be on the same team. You can't be out on the soccer field when it's a baseball game. So I think you can see from the board members' input that we're all on the same team. And so we're going to be successful if we maintain that. So thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see, that was item 11. All the rest of the reports are for information. Does anybody want to know anything about what's there, or can we move on? About items for staff review? No items. Items for future agendas? How about, oh, wait a minute, Mr. Raza, you had your hand up? It's up there in the corner. I can't see it.
Was Mr. Prosper's report in there?
It's coming up.
It's coming, okay.
Good of the order. Do we want to do that now?
Sure.
Yeah.
Mr. Raza?
Yes, thank you for all the reports today, very informative. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Prof.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate the information.
Thank you, Mr. Pantoja.
Just thank you, sir. For what you guys do. It's a great organization.
Thank you, Ms. Langton.
Thank you. Just happy Easter week, Passover, any celebrations that you have this week.
Thank you, Mr. Kehoe.
Thank you. Last weekend was our Baker to Vegas relay, and it's usually a celebratory event. Unfortunately, we lost one of our own, Deputy Levi Vargas, who passed away during the race. So I asked that we end in his honor. We adjourn in his honor today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robbins.
I have nothing.
Okay, nothing. Okay, Mr. Moore.
I've said my piece.
Okay, we can go into closed session.
All right.
From the county counsel's office after 30+ years. So I promised her I would pay attention closely to that and make sure it got approved. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's take 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna take a 5-minute break.